So yesterday, my name is Atetima, and I'm the convener and the team lead mentor for the Responsible Teens Academy. The Academy is a platform for teenagers to be mentored, trained, coached, and also serves as an accountability system for them as they journey through teenage to adulthood. So this is our back to school series, and we're doing it specifically for those that are university newbies, jam bites, they call them in Nigeria. They're just getting into higher institution for the first time. It's also for those that are rounding off secondary school SS2, SS3. So if you're here or you would be watching this recording after this, I want you to sit tight. Yesterday, I kicked off the session by talking to you about the need for you to internalize your faith. You cannot go to the university confused about who God is and why you need Him. Because the truth is, university is a tough place, and so is life. So, you need to understand that your walk with God is no longer dependent on your parents. Now you have a certain level of freedom, or you would be soon be having a certain level of freedom where you can sleep anytime you like, wake up anytime you like, and all that. You can choose to go to church or not to go to church, read your Bible or not read your Bible. But it is important for you to understand that God is what you need to make your life a success. Then I also talked about the need to have meaningful friendships because, like I say, you can stay away from class and nobody will care. But when you have meaningful friends, wonderful friends, friends that are committed to you, they can watch out for you. And then we went on to talk about all the other qualities you need to watch out for, how you need to use your core values to determine how to choose friends, because you must be that intentional about it. So today we're kicking off and we have our facilitator in the house already. Her name is Mrs. Wendy Ologe. When she's in the academy here, we call her Auntie Wendy. We don't call her Madam Coach, we call her Auntie Wendy. She's here to talk to us about how we need to focus and how we need to be deliberate about our finances and a few other tips, what we need to do to pass through college safely without hassles. Okay, so straight to the point. Auntie Wendy, we're ready for you. Bring us some awesomeness, all the ones you take to the parents, bring us some, and then we'll be glad to have you for the next 45 minutes. Thank you so much for doing this. I know you're just doing this for your love for this generation. And for that, we are grateful. We don't take it for granted. Welcome here, ma'am. We are so blessed and so pleased and honored to have you. Thank you so much. Hello, ma'am. Oh, when this network is acting up. Okay, so while that is happening, remember that yesterday we were supposed to submit two assignments. We're supposed to write down what our core values are. What are the things that you are standing for? What are the things that you believe in that you're going to uphold? We're supposed to submit those things because until you have those things clearly stated, clearly written, you will keep finding yourself getting confused. Okay, you go to school and someone will tell you that, oh no, you don't need to read hard. You can just You can just chill and you can just do well in school and all that. People will come and tell you what they believe and try to convince you to believe the same things. That is why it is important for you to have your own core values. You know, one thing with core values are some of them, until we acknowledge them, we will not realize that that is actually what rules your life. So, for example, one of your core values is discipline. One of your core values is good character. And what is character? Character is who you are when no one is watching. Your core value could also be integrity. That is standing by what is right, whether everyone else accepts it or not. So when you have this in place, you would not want to listen to anybody else who doesn't think the same way. No, you will stand your ground and say, no, it is not right for me to give a lecturer money. You will stand your ground and say, it is not right for me to have sexual relations with lecturers or the class rep or people that you feel, can help you do better in school. Nobody will be watching you. No one might be watching you, as it were. That's why I said that university comes with a lot of freedom. University is a test of what you know, what you have always known. University will test it. So who are you when no one is watching? You're going to be tested. Some people are going to come, believers, Christians, so-called. They will come and try to twist the Bible and tell you, God knows that you need to do this because God wants you to succeed as a child of God. They will twist it and twist it and twist it. You would just need to stand your ground. Then I also said that is what you are going to use to choose your friends. So when you get into school, you would have to first observe. You have to observe to know, what am I supposed to be doing here? Why should this person be my friend? Why shouldn't this person be my friend? And then you will stay away from such people. That's what you're going to use to watch out. So that's why I'm asking for you to let me have your core values. It is very important. I think Wendy is back. And then your second assignment, who your accountability partners are, I need to have record of them so that I can hold you accountable. Okay, Wendy, are you good now? Sorry about that network.
My internet is a bit unstable. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, did you hear me introduce you?
Okay. No, I didn't hear anything you said.
Wow. Okay, so because as a participant, you would have heard what I said about Wendy. I will tell her what I said about her behind the scenes, but she just needs to start her session now. So welcome here, Auntie Wendy. I was saying that you are Madam Coach, but when you are at the academy, we call you Auntie Wendy. Yes, that's what we call you when you're here. Thank you so much for allowing us share your awesomeness. We see all you're doing for the parents, and it's such a privilege to have you here with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. So let me let you have the floor so that I don't.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Mm. All right. You can hear me, Etima?
Yes. So we're ready.
All right. So I'd like to also get a recap. My network bandwidth is a little bit low, and it tells me that here.
Okay.
I'm hoping that I'm able to have this conversation without having to break. I'd also like you to share with me what happened yesterday, just like a recap, so that we'll continue from there.
Yes, okay, I already did the recap, but because of your network, yeah, it shut you out.
Oh,
Yeah, already did. We talked about
yes.
um the need for teens to internalize their faith because they are going into freedom, like I like to say, call it. They are going into a place and a space where they won't have to be told or reminded to do anything. You can choose to pray, you can choose to study your Bible, you can choose to go to church, go to fellowship, you can choose to do that or not do that. So we said that there is a need for them to understand that college, university is not an easy place. There are wolves out there. And of course, that's how life is. Life can be tough, life can be hard. So they need to understand that this issue of feeling like, oh, I'm free from mommy's trouble of, oh, you haven't said your prayers, oh, you haven't come for devotion, oh, you haven't read your Bible. Yeah, you're free from that. But then, are you really free from the new, from the troubles and the challenges that would come with this new phase of your life? So you need God, and you need him personally. I was asking them that, why do you think that good, you know, Bible believing children, believers, teenagers, hot for God as it were, at home, will go to school and become something else? The answer is simple. They did not have a personal relationship with God. They were not fully converted and convicted that they needed to have a relationship with
Hmm.
God personally. And you need it because where you are going to, you will be tried, your faith will be tested. So internalizing your faith is having that personal walk and relationship with God. Whether you're in SS2 or you're in SS3, you need to just begin to have that time, that knowing God for yourself time. You need it, and you would always need it. You cannot succeed in life without God. I don't care what the internet says. I don't care what social media says. I don't care what our celebrities say. You were born for a purpose. You were born to fulfill destiny. You cannot do that without God. You cannot be anything in life and be sustained properly and well without God. So the earlier we begin to start working on our relationship with God, the better for us, so that when we go to college, we know to hold God dearly and closely. And I ended my session by talking about the need for meaningful friendships. I said how, university is a place that even if you're not in class for 1 month, nobody cares. So a circle that can act as a good support system, you know, people that are committed to you as you are also committed to them, is important. I talked about how there's a triangle of friends that your parents, your mentors can encourage you to keep, friends that you tolerate, and friendship that are discouraged. Every time you're picking a friend, you must ask yourself, can this friend, do I need to encourage this friendship? Do I need to just, how you just allow some relationships, like your class rep, you don't have a choice, they're just around but they are not close. Then you have some that you must not go close to. So every time you're picking a friend, you must always understand that, is this a friend a relationship I'm going to encourage, I'm going to tolerate, or I'm going to discourage? And then the ones you should spend your time on, the ones you should invest in, of course, are the ones to be encouraged. Friendship that when you look back after 5, 10, 15 years, you're glad that you invested in those friendships. Do not waste your time on the other two. Do not waste your time on them. And then I went on to share the things to look out for in friendship. They must be honest. They must be people that, do what is right, people that love God, fear God, people that are ready to be, hardworking, committed to the relationship. And of course, I said, for you to determine who to choose, you must be very sure of your own core values. You don't have core values, this is the time for you to sit, go back to the drawing board and check what's your value system. If you have one already running in your home, lucky you. You still need to create your own personal core values, because when you go to school, people will try you. People will test everything you know. Everything you know will be tested. All your values will be tested. Your character will be tested. Your beliefs will be tested. Your actions will be tested. So when you're choosing friends, you will need to choose friends based on your own core values. So that's how we wrapped up the class, and then we're set for today's session.
All right, so welcome everybody, and my name is Wendy Ologe. I hope you can hear me, and I hope my connection is
Yes.
not dragging back.
No, 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 no,
Etima,
no. It's clear.
anytime you cannot hear me, please let me know so
Okay,
that we
okay,
can
okay,
stop and then regroup again.
okay,
Can you
okay.
hear me? Please
All
let me
right.
know so that I can
Yeah,
continue. All right, you can hear me now, right?
yeah, clearly.
All right, awesome. Okay, so today we're going to look at finances, how to manage your finances. But I would like to take it a bit from another way, right? So we're talking about finances. We're talking about being able to create a system. We're talking about being able to put a lot, in place. Many times we all go to school, and we're not told what to expect. One of the things that's going to hit you pretty hard is that you're going to get there and you're going to be giving money. And before you know it, you're going to be battling with it. It was part of what I personally had to battle with myself, as an individual. I had my own battles when it came to finances. I wasn't very independent of finances. The only thing that I knew a lot about finances was that I had the skills to be able to
Right,
go to the
take.
market, look at money, but
Mm.
I didn't, I wasn't given, the opportunity. I was not given the opportunity to be able to be independent, when it comes to finances, because I never went to a boarding school. My first time of living outside my home was in the university. And funny enough, my elder brother had gone to the university from home. So university was just a stone throw from home. And my other brother was going to school from home, and it wasn't anything. All right. So, and when I was about to go to university, I had to say that no, I am going to leave in the school premises, because a lot of things anyway. I was in medical school and it had a lot to do, and I needed to really, really put a lot of things together. One of my first struggles, I had gone to school pretty early, and one of my first struggles was inability to manage funds. So the first 1 week, 2 weeks, I was confused. I was wondering, but this money is not enough, right? This money is not enough. And it was a lot of struggle. And believe you me, when you begin to struggle on finances, you might begin to agree to do many things. Incidentally, I was that child that was loved by the father. So of course, immediately I started to send messages, to say, "Oh no, daddy, so I don't have money again." And then he kept coming to my rescue and kept coming to my rescue. And one day he said to me, "But the money I give to you is actually more than enough to be able to sustain you. Nobody told me that I could make a budget. Nobody told me that I should put things together. So I just assumed that you have money now. You just come down in the evening, you come down, you buy fries, you buy for your friends as well, because they are there now and they're your friends. So of course they need to also, get to, so there were just too many things, at the same time, until I had to learn the hard way. It took me a whole year. My whole first year, my whole finances was a mess. I would take pictures almost every day because I just loved pictures. So of course, those pictures cost money. So by the time I get to school, I just look at myself and say, I'm really, it's not now. You guys have iPhones,
They can take
badass cameras.
selfies. Mm.
Yeah, we didn't have that. If you were going to take picture, you're
You
going to
want to
go to the
go.
studio, right?
Mm-hmm,
To those
mm-hmm.
guys who were on the road, and
Yeah.
then take pictures, and it will come out the next day. And it was fun. I love pictures a lot. I'm one of those people that can go on a vacation and I'll have 2,000 pictures at a time that was never shared. I love to just watch pictures, create memories, and that was pretty a thing for me. So I found what to spend my money on. So every day I spent like 200 naira or 100 naira taking a picture. So imagine how much that cost. So, I will take a picture, and then, because I also wanted to, live the life. So, I'll take a picture. People will say, let's go and eat somewhere. We'll go. I didn't cook in the hostel. My father believed I was, so call me spoiled. I can pass out for that. But it's an interesting story of mine. And, while I was in school, I realized that I began to struggle. Now, my struggle wasn't because, and I was raised not to borrow. So I couldn't even borrow from people. So it made it worse. So I saw myself getting broker and broker all the day. So I was in school, my elder brother was still at home. So my elder brother would always come from home every day. So I found myself asking my elder brother to bring food every day. So I was now depending on my elder brother. I was, my elder brother would come with money or something. Sometimes he gives me his transport money so that I would just be fine. And then, after all that, he now left school. He graduated. So I was left by myself. No brother to bring food from home. No brother to dash money because you whined. Nothing. So it was just me. So I was now left to face the realities of life. At that point, I knew that I needed to learn as fast as I could. Trust me, I learned. When you are faced with some realities, you don't have a choice. You will just look for every way to go and learn. I learned. I started asking questions on how to create budget, started asking questions on how to manage funds and everything. And I started to really learn on my journey. And then I started to understand money management. Eventually, I found myself in a bank for 3 years where, I was really, really able to put a lot in place as regards my finances. Because even when I got, started working at the beginning, my finances was still not where it should have been. So I'm imagine that some of those things that we're telling you today, that you were able to understand them. I was able to understand them before I went to school. So imagine that I would have been able to do a lot more with myself. So today we're looking at financial management. I hope that story, gave you a good jump start. We're looking at financial management. And one thing about financial management that you must note is that financial management is one of the biggest things that you need to learn in life. Your concept about money is as important as what it is that you're going to do. The Bible says that, have you ever seen anybody who wants to build a house and does not count their costs? That's the word from the Bible. So if you are going to start off a life on your own, your ability to manage money will help you. Let me tell you what can happen if you do not manage money well. You're going to run into debts, and not just that, and then you're going to find yourself, you begin to do things, all right? You begin to do things that you normally wouldn't do. So financial management helps you put your money in process. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is that people don't borrow money because they don't have really. People, a lot of the times, borrow money they cannot, because they cannot manage money. So money management is as important as anything. So a lot of the times people will say, I had to because I didn't have a choice. The truth of the matter is that you do really have a choice. Financial management is one of the most important aspects of your life. It simply means for you to plan, for you to organize, for you to direct, and for you to control your financial undertakings. It also includes management principles that does not now run you into debt. One of the things that you want to do in financial management is that you want to maintain enough supply of funds. When you get to school, you have the first thing that I will assume that you should do is to make a budget. How do you create a budget? Simply put, a budget is a list of everything you need to do in the month. Excuse me. Savings, spendings, and what will come in. Now, let me say also, you're going into the university, you also need to find what talent that you have that can help you with money inflow as well. I remember my husband, would say that he went to school, he was making cards for people, and it was like, something he was doing at his leisure time and also making money. Yeah, your parents can give you all the money there is, but one of the biggest ways to actually put finances together, manage them, is actually to ensure that you have regular supply of funds. Another thing that you want to do is that you want to create, some kind of safety around the money that you have. What are you going to be doing with this money? So as this money comes in, what will happen to this money per time? You need to build a structure. The truth is, those who fail to plan to fail. Those who fail to plan to fail. Because if you do not plan, you're going to just get disarray. Now, when you have a planned fund, when you get into school, the fund is already planned. So when your friends come and say, it's evening, now let's go and do French fries, there won't be opportunity for it. Even as an adult right now, as I am, my friends will say, you don't just withdraw money and just hold in your hands. So miscellaneous is not part of my budget. I don't have miscellaneous. Every money has a name. Every money.
Hello, Wendy.
Look for money. If I have budgeted money for food, I make sure that we do the shopping for food in that time. And that will be it. So at every point in time, I have food. That's what planning does for you. So that way, you might not even have money, but you have what to eat. You might not have money, free money, lose money, but you have everything that you need per time. So budgeting is one of the biggest ways to actually be able to manage your funds properly. So before you even set out, ask questions. What would I need on campus? Calculate it. You need to eat. You need to feed. You need to, buy clothes. You don't need to buy clothes. I tell students something. The truth is, I don't need to buy clothes on campus. You don't need to buy clothes on campus. So if you actually put your budget together, like, I don't know how the campuses run now. The private campuses now don't have those accesses.
Yeah.
But I don't think those things. But when we were in school, you had access to people that are selling things. They come every second, milliseconds. And it was rated that selling things to students was one of the biggest marketplaces.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you can do is that if your money is budgeted per time, you will realize that you won't see yourself spending money that you don't have. I have seen students start off the semester and they start off with borrowed loans. They buy clothes on loan. They say, oh, I'm going to pay you later. Oh, they buy all sorts on loan because there's no budget. See, when money does not have where it's going, it just flies. When money does not have where it's going, money just flies. So one of the things that you must have is that you must have a budget. Now, that is number one. The truth of the matter is that personal financial management can be daunting. It's actually a task. It's every day. But you need to also understand, the concept of Strategic thinking. Strategic thinking. So what we're teaching you is the basics of personal financial management. The 10 reasons to gain more appropriate basic understanding of, setting you up for financial success. You need to start now. So why is financial planning important? The 10 reasons why financial planning is important is: number one, income. Income. The income you have, how is it going to come? If your income is only going to come from what your parents give you, then you need to also understand that that's the only source of income that you have. And then begin to now look at, how does this now help me? Do you want to create other sources of income? That now depends on you. The number two thing is cash flow. Managing spending and planning ahead to make the most of your income. Now, cash flow is how you can spend, how your ability to spend, your spending capability. If you cannot spend, if you don't have cash flow, you won't be able to spend. And how do you ensure that you have cash flow? Planning. When you plan your income, you will see that whenever things come up, you have money for it. Another reason why you need to manage funds is to also be able to build capital for something. You might decide that, okay, while I'm in school, I want to be able to build capital for something that I want to do. Its capital is usually leftover cash as a result of managing cash flow. When you look at your cash flow, managing it, you will find out that when you are looking at your cash flow, you might have some leftover funds, and they will now form that basic capital. I remember that this was, too much of a struggle for me. And when my youngest brother, who currently works in APIN today, was going to go to school, I taught him this financial management. And today, we call him the financial management guru in my house. Because the way he manages his finances currently, even me, sometimes I'm like, whoa. Why? Because he understood this basic, and he was able to practice it while he was in school. Every time when he comes back, I will ask him, where is the capital for this time? Capital is the cash flow that comes out of the leftover, that comes out of managing your funds. Why else do you want to manage funds? Security. There's something my people say that money gives you security. Do you know that you might be in school now and something comes up and you do not have money? Your G3 will be more. Have you seen a woman who has lost her husband, the one that the husband has money and she has access to it, and the one that does not have access to it? The cry is different too. Security is important. So having that whole planned, out gives you some kind of security. When someone is talking about something, how will I survive? You're not thinking it. And for you to be able to study properly, you must get your financial security right. Because by the time you start to worry about the money that you do not have and how you're going to get the money, already there is an emotional, breakdown on the whole process. So it's an emotional thing, and so you need to be able to deal with it. Being able to study has a lot of emotions in it. So if you do not have that money security, you're already agitated. I remember those days, I'll be reading. I'm already thinking, how will I call my father? What will he say again? This man, he will say, he will find one excuse, but he will appear in my school last. But you know the truth, I won't do that for my child. I actually think I was a little bit overindulged as far as I'm concerned. Right? And that made me, go through this whole struggle. So instead of waiting for the time when my child will now be struggling and I'm trying to help them, I rather would teach them how to do. When our foster daughter was going to the university, part of what we taught her was how to generate cash flow. So for every point in time, she had how to generate her own cash flow apart from whatever it is that we're giving her. So it made it very seamless. So there were times where we had sent money, she can't access it. She was good. She was good at those times. The moment you have these insecurities, you begin to struggle on exactly what it is. Even as adults, you begin to struggle. I remember that some years ago, there are some things that will happen to me. I will be like, I'll be a bit panicked because I was constantly thinking, how do I survive? What do I do? But right now, those panics are there. So I have a sense of, I know what I'm doing. So God also wants us to be able to be planners. Another thing that this also does for you is investment. I know that you're going to tell me, I'm just going to school, I don't need an investment. You can buy shares even while you're in school. So my husband had a dad who invested so much in shares when they were growing up. So by the time my husband was in the university, he started buying shares. His father tasked him to be able to invest a part of his upkeep money every semester. So he started buying shares, investing. So by the time he got out of university, started working, till now he has some shares that he has bought that he cannot even remember anymore. But they are there. And the other day he was able to put it into all the security system shares and everything. So you can make an investment. I remember that when my youngest brother wanted to buy a smartphone, then he was in school. I was already working, and then he came to me and said he wants to buy a smartphone. I asked him, is your quota of the money? And if you want to indulge in luxury, then you should be able to also deny yourself of some things. Where is your quota of the money? He came with me with 60% of that money, and I gave him 40%, and he got his first phone. Does it mean that I didn't have money to give him to buy a phone? Oh, no, I had. But I needed him to understand financial responsibility. So, financial responsibility is a key factor. One of the things that you must also understand is that it improves your standard of living. It improves your standard of living. When you are able to manage your finances better, you find out that you eat better, you are good, you're not struggling, you just know that, okay, this is how I'm going to live. It also helps you. Another reason is that for ability to understand financial understanding. Some financial understanding. All right, so making use of your own decisions, the result, and better understand what works better. This is the best time to take those decisions and have financial understanding of how you will live tomorrow. The next reason why you must have good personal financial management is for the sake of savings. In your budget must have savings. Yes, they are giving you money to go to school, you must save money. Because there will be times things will come up and you will not know how to actually, do it. The savings will help you. So part of your budget, part of what you're going to have, food, clothes, whatever, is that you are also going to have savings.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Oh.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
I think my network putted me out a bit.
Interesting.
All right.
I feel like going back to university now. I'm doing everything you are saying. So interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, because if we understood some of these things, it would have helped every single one of us,
Yeah.
even as adults today. So
Mhm.
imagine that we've been able to practice those financial, planning and everything. Today it will help you so much. Now let me tell you the interesting side of this conversation. My younger brother that have been able to guide this way. In fact, he's my guinea pig as far as this, financial conversation is concerned. And today, he's a young man, he's 26. He's been able to work for how many years? 4 years or so. But in those years, what he has been able to do, I wasn't able to do it in 10 years. Why?
Wow.
Because he's been able to learn. He's been able to practice those things while he was in
It's
the
cool.
universities.
Mm.
So by the time he came out, I remember when he was doing youth service, he was paid 20,000 naira. And he managed his 20,000 naira. It was enough for him. So it's not in the amount. And even in the 20,000 naira, he was still able to save money because he's been taught that no matter the access that you have to money, even if you have 10 naira, you must be able to save money. It's a mindset. It's not how much you have. If you're not able to save money when you are giving 10,000 naira, you can't save money when you have 1,000,000 naira. Quote me anywhere. It's just a mindset and a system. Life is about principles. If you miss the principles of life, you struggle. See, let people not deceive you and tell you there are no rules in life. It is a lie. There are rules and there are principles. You miss it, you fail. So the moment you do not understand what it means for you to be able to understand basics, you will struggle and struggle again. So I think one of the most important things that we need to look at today is, as I begin to round up, how do I create a personal budget? How do I create a personal budget? Because one of the things that you need is a personal budget. A personal budget is simply means how you want to be able to spend your money. The number one thing you want to do is step one. How much is the income that is going to come to you? Don't assume anything. And don't be like me that will expect that after 1 week, I'm going to call and I'm going to get money. The truth of the matter is that how much I was going to get was not predictable. I was given anything, and it was never sufficient. Never sufficient. So the first thing you want to do on creating budget is, what is the income? Identify the amount of money that is going to come in. There's no this thing about it. Don't assume how much is coming in. Whether it's your mother giving you money, whether it's an uncle that promised that every month you're going to get 20K from him, they are all income. Don't let there be any lose money. Will I be able to create another source of income on my own? What skills do you have? Note it down. Will I be able to create any other source of income while I'm studying the university? Believe you me, it is one of the things that I have been able to, that I teach, and it's one of the things that we were able to successfully implement with our foster daughter, and she successfully implemented it. Let me tell you an interesting story about what happened to her when she went for service. She had wanted to do a project, one of those projects that you do in NYC. And she came to us and said, oh, she needed 500 and something thousand. Oh, she wanted to do that project. And believe you me, we were going to give her the money because we wanted her to be able to do the project, do something good. But we sat back and we brought out our financial management plan in the house and we asked ourselves, from the system that we are creating, is this okay? That's why you must have a plan. We answered ourselves and said, no, it wasn't okay. This child has been able to be taught how to use her skills. What can she do? So we decided, go money and tell us what it is that we can do from there. Trust me, she raised every single fund herself, every single one. We didn't put a penny for that project. Why? She remembered that she had skills that she had been able to build up on how to create income while in the university. She put it in progress. She told me, she said, Mommy, I made money while I was trying to create this process. And it made me to think. So thank you for not giving me that money, because I was able to think. Right now, I believe that if I'm put anywhere, I will survive on my own. Because I already understand the system of creating wealth. There's a system to create wealth. There's no assumption. Step 2, you need to track your spending. For everything you're going to spend, track it, categorize it, so you know where you need to make adjustments. When you make budget, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, then you now have a sheet that helps you track your funding, your spending. There are regular monthly bills, rent, are you paying rent? Are you buying gas? These are fixed expenses. So list your fixed expenses and then list your variable expenses, the ones that maybe if you do it this month, you're not doing it next month, like call card, all those small things. Record your daily spending with something very handy. I have an app that I use on my phone. It's a spending calculator app. I use it daily, even for my business and even for my own personal recording. So when you come to me for money, my friend is here. I will tell you I need to build it into the budget. It has kept me to be able to manage money a lot more better. So track your spending, understand what it is that you're spending money for per time. Number 3, set your goals. Before you start, sifting through the information, set your goals. What are my goals? What do I need to achieve? This money I'm spending, what is it for? What is it for? It's very, very, very important. All right? Okay, so very, very, very key for you to know. Step 4, make a plan. Make a plan. Use the variable and the fixed expenses you have compiled to help yourself get a sense of what you will spend in the coming month. So the first month will be like your guinea pig. The first month will be like your guinea pig. So that will help you to be able to now make a plan going forward. So use those variables. So that first budget you're going to make is just like a blanket kind of budget. Then when you now finish, you will now make a plan going forward. This will not be the kind of budget. Right now, we have a budget that runs in my home. It's almost like a fixed thing. Month after month, we just roll it out. Once in a while, it shifts. But I tell you, that budget stands still, month in, month out. And as money is coming in at the end of the month, the money is going to all the different places. For my husband says that when money enters his account, on payday, if you come there in the next 2 hours, you don't find a dime, because money has gone to where it is meant to be. When you leave money, it will fly because it has wings. The next thing you want to do, you need to adjust your habits if it's necessary. Look at the things that you're doing. Are there things that you want to adjust? Evaluate your spending on needs. Evaluate your spending on needs. For instance, you might have a need for internet, but you might not have a need for the fastest internet ever. The fastest internet is a want. The need is an internet. So you might not have that need of having to pay for one internet that is so expensive so that you can have fast internet. That's a want. Internet might become, because I like to believe that in this time and age, and it's very, very important for us to note. So look at the numbers, look at how you can evaluate some of these things and begin to now put, what are the needs? What can I trade off so that I will be able to have savings. Small savings can add up to a lot of money. Don't overlook little stuff. You might be surprised how much money that you can accumulate at the end of it all. So you can decide that every month I'm going to spend a token. Before you finish university in 4 years, you'll be so shocked how much you have access to. And you'll be wondering, what exactly happened there? So never neglect that. Step, keep checking, keep checking, keep checking. It's important that you review your budget on a regular basis, so you're sure that you're staying on track. You can compare your monthly expenses. When you have that spending tracker on your phone, you can just put, it will filter it. You are able to see January and February, what did I do? You know, you might get a raise, your expenses may increase. You need to know if something increases, why is it increasing? The reason why a lot of people cannot run successful businesses is that they can't track their expenses. There are months, even as a business owner, where my expenses have become, so I look at it, I'm like, could I have let this thing be? So you look at your expenses, if they are becoming, if you're looking at your expense next month is going to be too high, move that expense to the upper month. That way it gives you room to balance on what it is that you're doing, and then you continue from there. So this is a major thing for you to do when it comes to managing your finances. Whatever you don't learn now will be difficult for you to learn tomorrow. So it's not about, oh, let me wait when I'm old. It is about the now. You don't grow big, according to Bishop Oyedepo. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. So if you're able to manage what you have now, then you will be able to get to that point where you're looking at things on a larger scale. If you do not learn to manage your finances now, that you have access to, let's say you have access to 20K in a month, you will never learn to manage your finances even when you have 200,000 in a month. Build those principles. Build on it. It might look tough right now, but trust me, my younger brother now is only 26. I don't think there's any of his mates that has the kind of money he has. Access to the kind of funds that he has. Why? Ability to grow on being able to plan financially. And today, it's not like he has the best of job out of all of them. He has a good job, I agree, but he has one of the, the best financial management system that I have seen. Why? He started earlier than I did, and he's been able to make it work for him even in his 20s. You too can do the same, and it's a very key skill that you acquire for your way to prosperity, for your way to wealth. Don't be deceived. There's no prosperity without financial management. If you don't learn it now, you will struggle and you meet it somewhere else where you begin to learn it. Thank you so much, Etima. I don't know if there are questions so that we continue from there.
Thank you so much. Like, you should just go on and on. No prosperity without financial responsibility. I like that statement because the teenagers of today just feel like, oh, I'll keep being tied to my mom's apron. My dad has got it all planned out, from my first degree to my second degree. Everything is sorted out. There's already a thriving business. There's money for me. There's investment for me. Everything can actually go down the drain in less than a month, a year. Everything can go down. So these things, you cannot escape them. You can't. Some of us learn them at old age, very old age, in fact, and we're still struggling. I always tell the teenagers that everything the way you are now is how you will be when you grow up. That's the truth. You just be, if you're someone that procrastinated as a teenager, you keep procrastinating until you stand up and just decide that I'm done with this thing. But it's always a struggle. So I want you, teenager, listening to me, to understand that you need to take this seriously. Yes, Ayomide, nobody taught us. Nobody taught us. I feel like just going, going online, just going to the city center and just screaming, hey, 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 dear teenager, listen here, because something else you said, Wendy, while I'm waiting for any question. You know, these are part of the reasons why teenagers, derail in school. Your money, I mean, you can just, that's why they don't attend classes now, because you have plenty
Yes,
money to
now.
spend. You will sit at the hangout place, you will order, you don't have a plan. Do you
Mm-mm.
know that some people will be finishing school, they have a land, you don't have
Yes.
anything, all you did was just spend money.
Yes.
Who says that you must grow to be
Mm.
big, like Bishop is saying? Who says that you must make money only when
Mm.
you're 40, when you're 50, when you're 60? Who
Mm.
says so?
Mm. Mm.
So I want you to take this seriously. Enough of mom and dad. Honestly speaking, it can't go far. No matter how wealthy your parents are, you have your life to live. I'm looking you straight in the eyes and I'm saying, you have your life to live. And if you continue to avoid to build some of these skills now, you'll keep struggling. You will grow, you will work in that lucrative, you have that lucrative job that your parents have planned for you, yes, but you will still not be able to account or to show anything to show off anything you have achieved, because you keep
Mm.
double. I see adults, full grown men, they just take their salaries, go to the bar with their friends, spend it, waste it, come back home and wait for the next salary. It's a
Mm.
cycle. It just goes on and on.
Mm.
So
Mm.
please, let's take these things that we're hearing seriously. And what I'll do is I'll like the parents of our participants to have these sessions, because I think they need to, follow up on what we have said. Yes, so that they don't, some parents are funny. When a child comes to say, okay, mommy, I've gone through, this class and this is what I think. I think that this is my skill of graphic design. I think I should use it in school. And parents like, face your studies. But they don't understand that
Mm.
them
Mm.
being
Mm.
them being productively engaged can even save them the trouble of go
It can
any
even make them
movements.
more, it can even make them more successful in their
Yes.
studies.
You go to class and you just know that, okay, after my lectures I'm doing my assignments, after that I'm going to do my designs. Your time is productive. Even when you want to
Mm.
relax, you're relaxing with a time frame. So yes, I remember how many times I'm in class and I'm thinking about my what am I going to eat this month? Oh, what am I? Not like my parents were not sending me money, but inability to manage it properly. I was always worried, always praying, always fasting for things I could have planned. Always, oh, how am I going to get this one?
Mm.
How am I going to get this one? Yes, thank God I was doing small businesses in school, but inability to plan it. My parents allowed us to do business. But I just thought that I'm even doing business. What of those are not doing? I didn't understand that I could actually, plan it in such a way that it can become an empire.
Mm.
So for you, so it's not enough for you to say, okay, I'm doing business in school. What is the aim? Eventually, what is it? You can come out of school and have your shares. You can come out of school and say, okay, I've gathered 200,000. Can I just have a small land? There's this thing it does to you. That is the responsibility we are talking about. That's how prosperity
Mm.
starts, so that you don't come and have loads and loads of prayer points. Your parents are praying for you to get a job, you're fasting, you're doing this, oh, everything is a struggle, everything is a hassle, when you could have, done this earlier, just by thinking and by planning. I don't see any
Mm.
questions, and I think that we can call it a day. If we have any
Yeah.
questions, you're always here for us. I know that, and I'm very grateful for that. I'd always send them to you. But thank you so much, everyone that has been a part of this class. This is too much value. This is too much value. I appreciate it a lot. And I hope that the teenagers that are listening to this will do something
Mm.
about this. Many times I see teens just wave off, just people, they have come again with all their trouble. I wish you understand that if you can take to heart what you've heard and what you're learning, it will be for your own good. You will look back at your life in 5 years, in 10 years, you will be grateful. You would be grateful. You will have no form of regret whatsoever. So thank you so much for coming into this class. Thank you for being a part of this series. We hope to do this every time that is the beginning of a new semester or a new session, so that we can look back and check, okay, what do we need to adjust, what did we struggle with, and all that. But for now, this is where we draw the curtain, and it's been an amazing 1 week. From the back to school series we had on Facebook with the intentional parents, to all the things we've been learning, then yesterday, and finally today. Thank you so much, and see you at our next back to school series by God's
All
grace
right.
and mercy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a blessed
Thank
day and
you,
weekend. Yeah.
Auntie Tima. You
Bye.
too. Bye.